don't know, but we're live. Ayo. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good afternoon from beautiful Miami. My name is Maryam Isa Al Ali. I put God first. This is my story, and I have a purpose. I help others embrace their authentic self to serve a bigger purpose. Everything I do in my life, from the minute I wake up in the morning to the minute I go to sleep at night, in the service of something bigger than who I am.
Yes, and my name is Alexander Zastupel. My purpose is to bring out the strength in others so they can take full control of their life and gain all rights to their existence.
Existence, guys, existence. And we come to you guys at Clear and Conquer Live every single
Tuesday.
At 12 p.m. here in beautiful Miami. That's 9 p.m. in Dubai. And today we are on the move. So we are in this beautiful coffee shop here in Aventura Mall that we love to come into. And look how beautiful.
Yeah, Miriam's loving the coffee.
I am loving the coffee.
And the cup.
And the cup. And the cup. So with that, guys, being said, we're going to go ahead and start today's session. So we come to you guys with a topic every single Tuesday that is beneficial for your life and also for your business. So the topic we're going to be talking to you guys today is about showing up. You know, this is our favorite rule of success by Uncle Mr. Cardone. And we want to also bring it to you because we've seen how much that literally changed our lives and it changed the lives of the people around us. So, Alex, what does it mean to you to show up?
Okay, so showing up is something that I've drilled in my head hundreds of times. I've watched a video by him actually over 100 times called Show Up. And it's something that I practice over and over again. It means to be present, okay? Be early to things, be on time, show up, even when your eyes are bleeding, even when you don't want to, when you don't feel like it, you're tired, you're gonna cry, you're being a victim. Whenever you start feeling like bad about yourself or bad about things, that's when you have to show up even more. That is even more of a reason when you have to show up. Okay, so something that Miriam and myself practice is we constantly show up over and over and over again, because when we show up, first of all, it's not just for everybody else. In fact, it's for us first. Because what are you telling yourself? If you don't show up to things, if you're late to things, if you didn't give it your 100%, you know deep down inside. Now, don't be a victim and be like, poor me, what's wrong with me? This is what I used to do for a long period of my life. Miriam doesn't even know this, but I was an extremely negative person.
I still can't believe it when he tells me.
Yeah, I was extremely negative. I would turn things, like I would turn the sun into the clouds. I would turn the clouds into gloom. I would turn gloom into horror story, like whatever. I would make everything very dark and like, but you know, someone would tell me something good, like my mom or someone around me, and I'd be like, well, yeah, but like, you know, someone would compliment me, for example, Alex, you're a very good looking dude. Yeah, but you're just saying that, you know, you know me well, so you're just telling me that. You know, I would invalidate myself and the other person all of the time. And the reason why I say this is because you can change and you can start to show up even more when your eyes are bleeding, when it's really hard. Guys, like, life is not going to be perfect, okay? There was a course that I was doing yesterday about marriage, and it has everything to do with communication. And it talked about over communicating with the other people, over communicating to yourself, and just like making sure that you take responsibility, right? Nothing in your life is going to happen unless you show up. Okay, so this happens in a marriage, this happens in your business, this happens in life, this happens with your friends, this happens with everybody around you, right? If it's hard for you to show up, then it's going to make an impact on you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna tell you, like what you just mentioned here, when you show up, guys, it's not like you are only showing up for a group of people or for someone else, you're showing up for yourself. And showing up could be like, again, as you mentioned, Alex, like as simple as getting up in the morning, going to the gym. That's a way of showing up, right? Writing the pages in the book, going to see your friends, helping your friends. You know, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Gosh, for like
Thank you.
People. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. It's a feast for me. So with that being said, guys, like we learn how to show up because we know in the showing up magic happens. You know, nothing is gonna happen to me from sleeping and oh my God, what happened happened to my life. I am such a mess, and go ahead and do something. I would say.
Yeah. But,
I'll do Instagram.
yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Anyways. So like you have to show up even when it's really hard, you guys. Like Grant would say, quit being a little. Yeah. Look it up. Look it up. It's in the 10x rule. It's one of the chapters. Don't be a little, and that really means quit complaining about everything. Quit thinking that the world's so terrible. Like take responsibility. If something's not working out, what can you do to change it? What can you do? Right? Stop like playing this game of like, oh my gosh, these few things went wrong. This happened. Yes, it did happen. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It did happen. What are you going to do about it? Right? What are you going to do about it? Right? And don't think the whole world is holding you back. We hold, and that's my fault. Nobody else's. I can't blame Miriam because of something that keeps on happening. Everywhere that I go, this is a saying that Grant taught me. Everywhere that I go, there I am. So whatever problem there is, I'm involved every time because I'm with myself 100% of the time. So wherever you go, there you are. Right? So what this means is you need to take responsibility. What did I do to cause this? What did I do that I can change to make the future better? What can I do to make sure this doesn't happen again? What can I do? What can I do about it? So showing up has been a principle that we've lived by ever since I learned about it. I started to show up more and more. But at the beginning, I thought I was showing up, when in reality, I wasn't showing up enough still. I could have been showing up even more. I could have been doing more. I could have been having better solutions to things. But here's the thing, we're human beings and we are going to make mistakes. So the great news is you can gradiently increase the amount of times that you show up. I know one example is I wasn't very good at showing up to the gym. Just something simple. And what I mean show up, I mean like being present there. I mean like giving it your 100%. I mean like putting it all on the table. Right? That's what showing up really means. It doesn't mean just like showing up. It means getting out of the bed in the morning when you don't want to. It means going to work when you don't want to. It means confronting your spouse on something maybe you didn't like, right? Or something, not turning it into a fight, but confronting them and being like, hey, instead of me ignoring this, I want to tell you about something that's bothering me.
Yeah.
Right? So all of these things are showing up. Showing up is a really big concept, and that's why we're teaching you guys about it today.
Yeah, and here's the thing. So how can you apply it in your life, guys? Let's talk about your goals. Remember the goals you put for yourself at the beginning of January 1st, and January 1st, I'm gonna crush it on January 1st. Okay, Habibi, we are almost done with the. Is it the last day?
Today's last day, February. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
2 months gone. We will never see February 2023 ever again. Of course, many people got distracted from their goals. By now, they're acting like they have no idea what I'm talking about. Goals, me? I didn't say anything. No, you did say, but now you become a quitter, you become a coward, right? But again, there are some people who get to the. Let's talk about fitness. They got to their fitness goals because imagine if you were consistent since January 1st, you would by now you would be in the best shape of your life or whatever shape you wanted to be. That's how many days? 31 plus 28 is what 40.
31 plus 28 is 59.
59.
Oh, very good job.
See, I'm good at math. I don't know what. I'm accountant. I don't know why. Anyways, sorry for another.
She likes to count.
Anyways, going back to the topic, guys. It's like they showed up to the gym. Some people, Mariam and Alex, they worked on their dreams. So far, we attended events. We are on events. We're running a huge event in Dubai. We made a decision 2 weeks ago. Alex is going to Dubai this week to actually work on certain venues and meet certain people as well. So it's all working out because we keep on getting the momentum. The momentum to your goals will only happen when you show up.
Yep.
But if you don't say, oh, tomorrow, now March. My friend in the Middle East, some of you guys will say Ramadan. Don't use Ramadan as an excuse. Hey, Ramadan should be a motivation for you to do something massive. Let's come up with an excuse. You're gonna sleep for like a month because you're fasting. There are some people who are fasting and they're working. Which one God will reward them more, huh? The one who's fasting and working, or the one who is fasting and sleeping? There's a difference.
Yeah, and to be clear about this, like I don't just show up in one area of my life. I show up in every area of my life. Okay, I'm not going to neglect one area for another. I refuse to do that. And you might think, oh, you need to take more things off your plate. You need to, yes, you need to get rid of things, but you don't need to take things off your plate. You need to add things to your plate. When I add things to my plate, I get so much more done. If I'm just sitting there in lag, meaning like adding time and just sitting in one spot, that means that the devil is going to start playing with me because I have a lot of time to think about things.
Right.
I'm in a lag, right? I want to be in action, right? Whether it's in action with my business, in action with my wife, going to a dinner, right? And we're going to talk about things that we both have in common to talk about, right? A lot of people get this confused. So a lot of people think everything has to be balanced, and it doesn't. Okay, you do not have to try to balance things. You have to give your 100% in all of the areas. Don't try to balance and give 30% over here. Like, oh, I only can work on the business. Yes, maybe you need to put more time toward, but that does not mean that you should neglect your family. That doesn't mean that you should neglect the other areas of your life, right? You have to show up again, no matter what, even when your eyes are bleeding, when you don't feel like it, you have to show up. Okay. And this is the hardest part about success, right? Yes, you need the right strategies. Yes, you need the right plan. Yes, you need the right people around you, but you need to show up. When it's really hard for me, and I like, for example, actually, just last week, I felt like not necessarily like sick, but I had a stomach ache like all day for 3 days straight, right? I could have easily just skipped the gym. I could have been like, oh my gosh, this is too hard. I could have been like, Miriam, I don't feel like talking to you right now.
You could have.
Or something like, I don't know, like I could have said a lot of things, but I chose to show up anyways. And what I really have in my head is showing up and then giving it my 100%. I need to show up first and then give it my 100%. And by giving it my 100%, I intuitively know if I'm giving it my 100% or not, right? I could I'm not gonna disturb everybody right now, but I could clap like at a 50%. This is like 30. This is like 20%, or I can like go wham, all in 100%. Just giving it my 100%. If you're giving it your 100% or not. Okay, and then I want you to ask yourself a question. Are you giving it an 100% in every area of your life? Are you doing it with your fitness? Are you doing it with your spirituality? Are you doing it with your relationship with God? I'm a firm believer in God, so I will talk about it. Sorry for the atheists out there. I respect you. You have your own views, and I respect that. Love you. I have my views. I talk about God, right? But with that being said, at one point in my life, I was giving 100% with my business and my career. I was making six figures at the age of 20. Awesome. But I sacrificed everything else, right? I sacrificed my sleep, my sanity, my health, all of those different things. So I had to find something that was going to work for me. And part of life is that journey of finding where that is. And what I have learned is a lot of times when you actually get to the destination, you realize that it was much more fun on the journey itself and on your way to the destination. Now, I don't focus just on the journey. I really do focus on my future, but I enjoy every single moment, whether I'm fighting with Miriam or I am, I don't like enjoy it, but I make the most out of it. I'm like, hey, at least I'm still in this game, fighting with Miriam or I'm fighting with Mary. I'm ripping my muscles in the gym. I'm in pain. I'm like, you know what? This is much better than me just sitting on the couch and not going after something.
Absolutely.
Right? This is much better and than sitting there and doing nothing. Like I am extremely happy that I am in a game that is fun to play.
Right.
Right? Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, here's the thing: some people say, "Oh, my God, man, I'm trying to do this and I'm getting resistance." Of course, you get resistance. Hello.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. There's no resistance. You're not being big enough. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm being very casual today. I was in a very casual situation.
Yeah, but you look amazing.
I know, thank you.
See, right now we're not fighting.
On it. So
we don't fight that much, by the way. Just to put that.
No, but we every time we have a disagreement, which is fine, as we have an argument. Argument means disagreement or quarrel.
Yeah, and by the way, like you guys think that any relationship, like some people look at us and they're like, oh, they're awesome or whatever, whatever they're
we show up for each other.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying something.
No, yeah, I was just saying, like, some people think and they're like, oh, their relationship is just amazing and all these different things. You don't see behind the scenes, right? There's things that getting really resistance because we're trying to break through to something. So there's gonna be this like wall, and both of us get like very we want to just break through it, right? So there's gonna be more tension. There's gonna be more energy. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me use this energy to break through this wall. And then we get to the other side and it's like bliss. We're like, wow, oh my God. Just last week we were dealing with this, and now look at right now. Oh my God, that's all I wanted to say. Yes.
That's huge, and this is what happens, guys, when you show up for each other and show up for your spouse. And here's the thing, like sometimes people want to get success and thinking, oh, it should. I have to be thinking smarter, not harder, 100%. But thinking smart also requires you to put in some effort. Like some people want to be successful without putting effort. That's who where.
That's a very good point.
Like again, by the way, even thinking is smart requires effort. You're thinking, you're planning, you're doing something. You're putting it in paper and then you execute on it. Awesome. But at the same time, guys, like if you are not willing to put in the work, I don't know how you're going to be successful. If you're not committed, you're not going to be working.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, if it was only about, oh my God, I'm gonna work smart, I'm just gonna be this intelligent young lady, blah blah blah. Okay, good. How well is it working for you? Not so well because even the thinking is smart, working is smart requires work. There is still some work involved. Like for example, like in our company, we have people doing the website. I mean, we can do it, yes, but at the same time, we are giving it to someone else because this way we are literally delegating the work to someone else for something.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
We're giving it to them. This is working smart, but doesn't mean I have to think. But I have to think who should I trust? Who can be doing this? Do they have the experience to understand the idea of clear and conquer and so on and so forth? And that requires thinking. Even though they're not dealing with the work anymore, but then to work smart, you have to execute on working smart as well.
Yeah.
Right? So and this happens when you guys show up.
Yeah.
If you're not showing up, you don't know what you are missing.
Yeah, you really don't know what you're missing. And a really easy example I like to share with people is going to the gym. Think about it. As soon as like you stop showing up to the gym just for a few days, you start to see what happens, right? You start neglecting something. What are you neglecting in your life? What are you not showing up fully to? Right? This could be like everybody has their thing, by the way. I have my own things that I work on. You have your own things. You have your own things. Everybody has something they're always going to be working on. And again, I'll say it again, that's part of the fun, right? Because if it was just so easy and we were perfect, we would just be robots. Like everything would just be like in order. I don't even know, like my brain, what would be my brain's purpose? What would be my spirit's purpose if I'm just a robot and I move from here to here every day? Like, I don't even want everything to be perfect because it takes the fun out of it, right? When I've had to work really hard for something and then on the other side of it there's a lot of bliss, it's a whole different type of it's a it's a whole different type of satisfaction, right? But if I just get instant gratification from everything, it's not, you don't appreciate it as much. So my point is, like, if I stop showing up to the gym, that is going to start going down. It's very simple. If I start neglecting anything in my life, it is going to start to shrink and die. So what my question to you is, what are you neglecting? Is it phone calls? Is it the social media posts for all the business people out there? Is it your spirituality? Is it your one of your relationships? Could be friendship. It could be your marriage. It could be your kids. Like some people, you know people. This is why I like learning from Grant Cardone, because he has now learned. By the way, it wasn't like this 100% of the time, but he has now finally gotten to the point where he is 100% in every area of his life. But it took him years and years and years. And my point is, what was my point there? I was trying to make a point, but what are you neglecting? Like,
If you don't show up for it, I believe.
yeah, what are you not showing up to? And I hope you understand more now what showing up really means, because I can just, um, you know, live with Miriam. I guess that's kind of being there and showing up, but am I really showing up? Right? I could just go to the gym, but am I really showing up at the gym? I could do the business, but I can really show up and take massive levels of action, or I can show up and be like, oh, 8 calls a day is good enough. or whatever I think is the minimal amount. See, what a lot of people go wrong is they think that life is just going to be on autopilot at one point, and it's never really like that. Even for Grant, there's still things that he works on.
Yeah.
And you will find the people that retire and start to chill and do all those things, they get very bored and there's a lot of white space, and the devil starts to play with them, and they start,
Yeah.
not everybody, but a lot of times they start, just wasting time, basically.
Absolutely. And here's what you do. You just mentioned something, and I want to put something Brad said in the short video, which is, by the way, he recorded with me like 41 or something. It's an old video of Uncle D, right?
So good.
He said, the bigger the spirit, the bigger you show up. You said something. You could be there with me, like you're showing up, but where's your spirit? Is your spirit with me or not?
Wow.
Because I just had a combination when you said that, right? So it's like the bigger your spirit, the more you show up. The more you show up for your relationship, the more you're going to show up for other people, the more you're going to show up for your business, the more you're going to show up for your health, the more you're going to show up for your spirituality and every other aspect of your life. By the way, here's the thing, and we're going to tell you from experience. If you don't show up for the things that you need to show up for, the little cute problems become bigger.
Write this down. Write this down, please.
Yeah, there we go. Like, what's this? There are some, I'm sure, like right now, there's something in your life. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I'm going to say it. There's something in your life right now needs to be handled. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's rent, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a business, maybe it's an interview, maybe it's a research paper, but you're not confronting it. You're not showing up for it. So what's going to happen is it's going to become a problem. It's going to become a huge problem because you're not showing up for that. Anything we don't confront when it's small and show up to it when it's small becomes a huge problem that will take us maybe 10x the amount to go ahead and figure out how to deal with it.
Yeah, and don't be misconstrued here. If you have something that you haven't confronted for a long time, it still needs to be confronted. It's not like you just let it go because it's so big now. The point is to handle these things so you can get back to like common goals, like things that you were looking to accomplish, because when these things get in the way and you don't handle them when they're small, they get really big and they distract you from the big thing, right? And I'm not saying that like outside forces are distractions. I'm saying that I created distractions that shouldn't have been distractions. They got so big because I personally didn't handle it earlier on. I didn't say something. I didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's my responsibility. Like I have done that many times, right? And again, human beings here, we learn and we move on. Now I'm really good at confronting things when they're small, right? Because I know what happens. There's a lot of pain associated with it. And I have awareness that it gets really big if I don't. And I remember times when it got really big and it completely pulled me off target, right? Because I didn't confront something early on, right? And now I have a pain associated with it. So I use that pain to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, so here's the thing.
That's a really good point, by the way, Mary.
Of course. And this is, by the way, for those who are tuning into the Clear and Conquer Live,
yes,
every single Tuesday at 12 p.m. Miami.
Episode number 42.
My God. Dubai, 9 p.m. Dubai time. So with that being said, guys, show up. I don't know what you guys need to show up for in your life right now, but there is certain things you cannot ignore it and you think it's going to go away. Anything you don't confront becomes bigger. When you go to a party and there is someone you don't like to see, but they're sitting there, guess what? If you don't confront, they become more visible to you. That's why when I'm in a meeting or something, I look at people, the people who are in the same spiritual level as me, they are very open and they're we connect. People who are small, they cannot look. I'm not small in size, small in spirit. Because I'm gonna tell you guys, people who are there for the bigger purpose. Oh my God, purpose. What do we do? Purpose. Hashtag purpose. People who don't have a purpose, they don't show up, or they show up and then they become a quitter. They become little cowards. Speaking of purpose, I have a purpose session this weekend.
You do? Yes.
Oh my God, I have a purpose session this weekend, guys. If you guys want to go ahead and find your purpose, it's the third quarter of this year. First quarter, the HQ. What is it?
Q1. Q1, yeah.
Yeah, finish the Q1 right. Find your I have the session on the 1st and 5th of March. Anyways, getting that out of the way.
Yeah, and like it's crazy when you think about all of this. Again, you guys don't get so caught up in the mechanics. Like mechanics are gonna happen. Just don't let yourself get sucked into it. You know, like just just trust God in a lot of this, right? Think about a time when something was really hard for you and you just had a lot of struggle with it. There was a lot of resistance. And then remember, you got past that. You didn't die, right? Like you literally got past it and you had bliss after, right? You had gratitude after. You had happiness afterwards. There was a time after that where things were great again. So don't get so stuck in the dark times and like the resistance and the setbacks. Move on, handle it, of course, handle it. Don't like just ignore it, but handle it and move on. Like, and it needs to be handled. When handle means that it is completely gone and taken care of. Like handled is a complete circle. Like it's completely gone. So my point is like don't get so stuck in things. Keep on showing up even when it's really hard, because it's going to get hard. There's going to be resistance in your life, and what I will say about that is you might as well go for something really big, because you're going to have resistance either way in your life, and you might as well have big juicy resistance that looks so big and daunting, and then once again you're going to get past it once again, right? You're going to keep on getting past it.
Yeah.
But you won't get past it if you quit, you neglect, and you stop paying attention to it.
Absolutely.
You won't get past it.
Absolutely.
And you'll have regret later on if you start to ignore and neglect and not show up to something in what you care about. Like if it's like your fitness and spirituality. I know for right before Miriam talks, for a long time I lost sense of my spirituality. Like for a very long time, I lost sense of my connection with God, and I went to for a very dark period of my time. And I beg you, and I like, if this is me begging you to not go down that road, because it's a very dark road and lonely road. You know, lean into the people that truly care about you. Show up for them. Show up for yourself first, and then them. Right? You show up for yourself because you're with yourself 100% of the time.
Yeah.
But do not go down that road. It's a very. I don't know who needs to hear this, but don't go down that road. It was very dark and it was terrible. But with that being said, keep on showing up even when it gets really hard, because I didn't know this principle at that time. That's why we're teaching it to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, and that's just again just to add a little bit of what you just mentioned and just said beautifully here. Life will not come to you. It will happen to you, but it will not come to you. That ideal life that you envision in your future will not just come on a plate.
Silver platter, yeah.
Yeah, you have to show up for it. I don't know what we need to show up for. Alex and I, we don't live from our past. We are living from the future. We are pulled toward our future, not from the past. Nothing is behind Alex and I dragging us back. Like we don't have chains holding us back. We are literally we're soaring up
in all areas.
In all areas.
Intentionally.
I love that. Right. Oh my God, sing. Right? Because if I'm living from the past, I'm gonna think about all the things, all the failures, all the things that didn't happen, all the things I wish I had done. Okay, so let's be over. It's gone. What is the future looks like, right? That's why Alex and I will always have dates and things we want to do in the future. Like in couple of when he's gonna go to Dubai this week.
I am.
In 2 weeks when he comes back, I'll take him to Arizona. We'll go to Arizona. We have a connection with him.
Miriam's got so many meetings here, she literally couldn't even leave, which is a bigger problem. We keep on looking for bigger problems. We're like, let's go.
I love it. I mean, I told you what I want from Dubai. I want dates, I want coffee, and I want something and that. I'll tell you. Anyways, so always put things in the calendar to pull you forward. Alex is going to Dubai actually to go ahead and secure the venues and the experiences for the people. Let's talk about the event a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it.
Alex and I were planning to do a 10x event in Dubai as the Grand Cardone licensees. Clear and Conference going to be doing a 10x event in Dubai. And not only is going to be about the 2 days, the people who are arriving earlier were having amazing experiences for them. For the people who want to go ahead and do something like They want to experience Dubai. They want to start businesses in Dubai. They want to do something in the United Arab Emirates. So it's gonna be a full-on experience from the desert to the gorge to like high-end experiences. People are always getting their tickets. They don't know the time. They don't know the location, but they have so much faith in us that they say, you know what, we're coming. People are just committed to this. Like you see, that you put something in the future so it can pull you to the future so you can do something about it. And I'm gonna tell you, sometimes I promise you, most of the time it's not money. It's sometimes you don't have the guts to show up. But I promise you, when you show up to one area, you feel like I need to show up to the rest.
Yeah. And like one thing to add to this, very good point, Miriam. Thank you for bringing up Dubai. For those of you that are interested in coming, there is limited seating. First of all, I mean, we're having a lot of people come, but there's limited spots. Okay, and the front row spots and the second row are selling out the fastest. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I mean, we are just to give you numbers.
yes.
They are 15 seats front row if you guys want front row,
Mm-hmm.
and but again, 6 of them are gone in the past 5 days. Okay, so you can later on decide if you want, but we cannot guarantee anything. And the first row, like the ultimate, we call it the ultimate experience. You get to be front row. You're gonna have 2 dinners with the speakers. You're also going to be coming with us on our private yacht around Dubai. It's gonna be a networking dinner, like a sit down, beautiful. And also, you're going to have a private mastermind with us after the event, in which you're going to be bringing business owners and specific departments from UAE to help you establish a business in Dubai, whether you are from the UAE or outside of UAE. So that's the ultimate experience. I just wanted to mention what is it all about.
Yes, thank you. And then the second thing with that is that's early bird pricing right now. The prices are going to go up, okay? But we have early bird pricing going on right now, only for a few more days here. So if you're interested, take advantage of this because it's very important that if you want to commit, you commit. You don't just add time and think about it. Like if you're already ready to go, don't put time into the equation for anything if you're ready on anything in life, okay? Miriam and myself got engaged within 24 hours of knowing that we had something going on here. 24 hours of we were engaged like that. Okay, I didn't put time into the equation, think about it, like what that you know.
Yeah, you didn't wait to finish the house or talk to your parents.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yes. Anyways, for those of you that are interested, it's clearandconquer.com/Dubai. That's clearandconquer.com/Dubai. And with that being said, I don't know if you have anything else to.
That's it. Just guys, show up. That's the last thing I want to tell you. Show up for something. If you feel like there is something that is pulling you toward a business, a relationship, a career, your health, your spirituality, do it. Don't add time into it.
Yes.
Adding time to something, I promise you, when you say, I'm going to think about it, when you think about it, you are more likely to think why you shouldn't more than you should. When you say, I'm going to think about it because now you're going to start becoming analytic and you're going to think about your experiences in the past. But how about you give your dream one more shot? I want to end it with what Dana White said in Broadcom 2020. Okay, he said, "Give your dream a chance. What is the worst thing that could happen? You could go back to whatever you did." And since that moment on, I literally quit my job. 2020, now 3 years later, I'm here, married with my husband. We have a successful business. We're doing all these amazing things between Dubai and Miami, and we are literally conquering. Imagine if I didn't give my dream a chance. So show up for it. Whatever it is, show up for it. You need help, reach out to William and Alex. We're real people. We're not falso. Falso means not fake. Fake gold?
Yeah.
Fake gold, they call it falso. We're
Okay.
not falso. We're real.
We're not falso.
We're not falso. We're real people, right? We want to help people who want to be helped. And that's it. Show up for it. Show up for your dream. And show up to Dubai.
Yes, show up. And when you show up 100%. Okay? So get that first step and then give it your 100%. All right. Thank you for everybody for joining. We appreciate every single one of you. We come live every single Tuesday at noon Eastern, 9 p.m. UAE time. Okay. And that is going to change with the time zone, by the way, just so everybody knows there's a time change coming up here. But with that being said, thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Those that are interested in Dubai, it's clearandconquer.com/Dubai. That's clearandconquer.com/Dubai. So you can get the early bird pricing there right now. Thank you for joining again and be great.
Conquer, guys. Bye-bye.
Let's go conquer.